That cutlet is a delightful medley of flavors and textures. That's a sort of feeling that takes me back to some happy memories of yesteryear. I think that's the power of simple but food that's prepared exceedingly well. You know what's interesting about tasting the Gadbad is that with every bite, you will taste something different. So in some bites, you will taste more of the strawberry ice cream. In some bites, you will taste more of the Horlicks cake and the milkiness that comes with it. In some bites, it's about the crunch of the nuts. In yet others, it's about the fruit that you're biting into. So, Gadi Bidi Madi, ice cream ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಅದರದ್ದು ನೇಮ್ ಗಡ್ಬಡ್ ಬಂತು.
ಆಗ ನಮಗೆ ಖುಷಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಗಡ್ಬಡ್ ಇಡಬೇಕು.
Hi folks, this is Kripalamana, Gourmet on the Road, and you're watching Food Lovers TV. So we are in Udupi today, of course exploring some food. But my next stop, more than food, is about revisiting a memory. Now this is a memory that goes back over 20 years, and at that point in time I used to visit Udupi every once in a while, and I would visit this eatery and taste two of their creations. One was a very simple cutlet, a vegetable cutlet, and the second was an iconic ice cream creation, and this is the Gadbad. You must have already read the title by now, so you know where I'm headed. I'm headed to Hotel Diana here in Udupi, a restaurant that's been around for many years. They have moved location sometime in the last 15-20 years that I was here. So today we've set out to their current location to revisit two of my delicious memories from the past. Well, the Diana that I remember used to be housed in a quaint, old-style building, not in this very modern-looking tower that it is now located in. A retail store here, and I'm told the restaurant is upstairs. So I remember from those days, you would enter through the department store, through the retail section, and then find your way up to the restaurant. So it was all one seamless experience. You walked through the store, you picked up some of the things that you wanted, some chakli, some unde, some masale, and a few other things. I'm sure they still have those things out there, but of course the store looks very nice and modern. But let's go up to the restaurant and taste those two dishes that I'm keen to revisit. Well, this is certainly a very different Hotel Diana experience for me from the time that I remember it. But the one thing that I see right here are refrigerators as soon as you enter. I'm not sure, but perhaps these refrigerators are storing some of those ice creams that used to go into the Gadbad. The only way to find out is to step in. A very different looking restaurant, but reassuring sight of Gadbad being ordered. And that's what I can see on one of the tables right away. Namaskara, sir.
Namaskara.
You are Mr. Vittal Pai.
Yes, sir.
And it was your uncle who invented the Diana Gadbad.
Yes. In those days, ice cream eating was not fancy.
Okay.
That time we prepare ice cream in a small quantity.
Okay.
And in the night at 6 o'clock, 6:30, and 20 people, customers came. They asked for ice cream.
Okay.
Then there was no ice cream.
Okay.
No individual ice cream.
Okay.
One flavor, vanilla, strawberry, nothing was there.
Okay.
My uncle don't want to allow them without eating ice cream.
Correct.
And then he what done? He took 20 glasses and put small quantity of ice creams, 3 types of ice creams, and he put some dry fruits on the top.
Okay.
That time only cashew nut.
Okay.
He added what dry fruits.
Okay.
And they enjoyed. They ate and enjoyed the ice cream. And after 2 days, they came back again. And they asked for ice cream.
The same ice cream?
Same ice cream. My uncle forgotten which ice cream was given. And he asked them, which ice cream? ನೀವು last time Gadbad ಕೊಟ್ರಲ್ಲ ಅದು ice cream ಕೊಡಿ.
ಸೊ ಗಡಿ ಬಿಡಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದು ಐಸ್ ಕ್ರೀಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಅದರದ್ದು ನೇಮ್ ಗಡ್ಬಡ್ ಬಂತು.
ಆಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಖುಷಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಗಡ್ಬಡೆ ಇಡಬೇಕು.
ಸಾವಗದಿಂದ ಶುರು ಆಗಿದೆ.
1963 or 64.
From 1964, the tradition of the Diana Gadbad began. 56-55 years agide.
Still, it is famous.
But what makes it very special, the Gadbad?
Gadbad is, we add some fresh fruits.
Okay.
And dry fruits.
Okay.
We add 8 types of dry fruits.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So can we take a look at the making of the Gadbad?
Okay.
Also, what's nice here is that they have sanitizers. The servers are wearing face shields. It's quite a nice, large, clean setup. Even as I walk in, right from the kitchen to the attire of the people here. I must tell you that I had not told them that I'm coming. I just dropped in last minute. So it's not that they have prepared this for us. This is the way things are. I like the fact that if the uniforms are spotlessly white, the floors are clean, and the kitchen is looking neat and tidy. This is the Gadbad station, huh?
Gadbad station.
Namaskara. Enche ullaru. Saukya.
This is vanilla.
ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಐಸ್ ಕ್ರೀಮ್ ನೀವೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
ನಮ್ಮದೇ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್.
What is this?
Fresh fruits, banana, pineapple, white grape, and apple.
And apple.
Apple.
What is that?
This is Horlicks cake.
Horlicks cake.
Yes.
So even this you make?
Yes. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಡ್ರೈ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್.
ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಡ್ರೈ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ? So there is raisins, there is some dates, karjura, there is some godambi, cashew, tutti frutti is there.
Yes. Anjura.
Anjura, there's some fig also that goes into it.
On the top is the strawberry ice cream.
Strawberry ice cream. We've learned from Mr. Vittal Pai the fascinating story of how this iconic dessert came out of Gadibidi, came out of a hurried preparation, and that was the invention.
This is also our good item, cutlet.
ಇದು ಯಾರು ಇನ್ವೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು?
ಇದು ನಾವೇ 1962 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು.
ನನಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಬೀಟ್ರೂಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಬೀಟ್ರೂಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಸೊ ಮುಂಚೆ ಯಾರು ಈಗ ಬೀಟ್ರೂಟ್ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಮಾತ್ರ ಆವಾಗ ಯಾರು ನೋಬಡಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ಬೀಟ್ರೂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಕಟ್ಲೆಟ್.
ನೋ ಬೀಟ್ರೂಟ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್. ಈಗ ನಮಗೆ ಬೀಟ್ರೂಟ್, ಪೊಟೆಟೊ, ಒಗ್ಗರಣೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಗ್ಗರಣೆ ಅದು ಹಾಕ್ತೇವೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಉದ್ದಿನ ಬೇಳೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕೊತ್ತಂಬರಿ, ಇದು ಬೇಸೊಪ್ಪು, ಮೆಣಸು ಮತ್ತು ಅದು ಫ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕು.
And you have a crumb, bread crumb. That's again another very popular dish here at Hotel Diana. That is the vegetable cutlet. You can see it's stained pink with the beetroot. ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಕಾಯಿ ಚಟ್ನಿ.
ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕೆಚಪ್, ಅವರ್ ಓನ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಕೆಚಪ್, ನಾವೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಸೊ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಟೊಮೆಟೊ ವೆಜಿಟಬಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಟೊಮೆಟೊ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚಿಲ್ಲಿ ಪೌಡರ್.
You know, when you're doing something new, when you are the pioneers in something, like they were in that Gadbad here in Udupi, and also in that vegetable cutlet, that involves a lot of struggle. Involves plenty of effort. And like he told me, the name Diana originally came for their line of cool drinks. And the ice cream. But then, because the ice creams and the cool drinks were not moving in the manner that they should have, they opened the snacks.
We took 5 years to educate the people. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಟ್ಲೆಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಂತ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಜನರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಡಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ಜನರು ಬರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆದರ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಇದು ನಾನ್ ವೆಜ್ ಹೋಟ್ಲು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ.
ಡಯಾನಾ ಫಾರಿನ್ ನೇಮ್ ಇದೆ.
ಡಯಾನಾ ಇದು ನಾನ್ ವೆಜ್ ಹೋಟ್ಲು, ಬೇಡ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಎಜುಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಜನರಿಗೆ. ನನ್ನ ಅಂಕಲ್ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಇದು ಕಟ್ಲೆಟ್ ಎಂಬುದು ಪೊಟೆಟೊ ಮತ್ತು ಬೀಟ್ರೂಟ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಮಾಡೋದು, ನಾನ್ ವೆಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ವೆಜ್, ಮತ್ತು ಸಾಸ್ ಟೊಮೆಟೊದ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಸಾಸ್ ಕೊಡೋದು, ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರು ಕೊಡ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾವೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟೋದು ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಎಜುಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಸಮಯ ತಗೊಂಡಿತ್ತು. 5 years. ಆದರೆ ಆ 5 years ಇದು ಕಷ್ಟ ಉಂಟಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಬ್ರೆಡ್ ನಾವು. ಮತ್ತು ನಾವು ಕಟ್ಲೆಟನ್ನು ಉಂಟಲ್ಲ ಮನೆ ಕಳಿಸೋದು.
ಓಕೆ,
ನೋಡಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಟ್ಲೆಟ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಹೊಸ ನೋಡಿ
ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ
ಫ್ರೀ.
Speaking of all that food, has certainly got me hungry. That cutlet is waiting for me. Let's go to the restaurant and taste that vegetable cutlet and that Gadbad here at Diana Hotel. Well, I've tasted the food here before, but very interesting to talk to Mr. Vittal Pai and also learn of some of the more unheard of aspects of Hotel Diana. For instance, I did not know that the vegetable cutlet was the first dish on the menu here. And also interesting to learn of how Diana ventured from being a cold drink and ice cream sort of a project to a full-fledged restaurant. Well, here we are with our vegetable cutlet. So I've always enjoyed this cutlet at Diana, and this is from years ago. I think my last memory of relishing this cutlet is from 15-20 years ago. And I'm certainly happy to be reunited with this, and more so after learning of the story behind its creation. That cutlet is hot and is dry to the touch. And reveals within itself that potato and beetroot mash. And what we've learned from Mr. Pai is the ogarne that goes into the mash. So basically the toasted curry leaves, you have some uddana bele and a few other things that actually give it that flavor. Let's go for that Diana Hotel vegetable cutlet. That cutlet is a delightful medley of flavors and textures. So you bite into that soft, creamy beetroot potato mash, and as you're savoring that soft, creamy mash, you bite into the crunch of the lentils, the uddana belly, and then you have somewhere along the way the warmth that comes from some chili and the flavor of the curry leaf. Oh, this is delicious. That's like being reunited with a long lost friend. That's exactly my emotion right now as I taste this vegetable cutlet. Let's taste some of that chutney with that cutlet. So this is a tomato sauce that they make in-house. Definitely have the sweetness of the tomatoes, and then you have that warmth of some red chili that's gone into it, the red chili powder. And then this is a green chutney combination. You have some coconut, you have some coriander for sure. I think there's also a bit of saring that comes perhaps from some tamarind that goes into it. Let's begin now with that tomato sauce. I love the creaminess of the cutlet and the crunch of that uddana bele. I think there's also some mustard seed somewhere in that ogarne, perhaps some onion, I'm not sure. You know, it's not a simple vegetable cutlet when you savor it. It has layers of flavor that come from the ogarne or the seasoning that goes into flavor the mash. Let's taste that cutlet with that green chutney. That flavor of that coconut mingled with that coriander. Delicious. Because I want to taste the cutlet with some of that tomato sauce and also that Kai chutney. That's a sort of feeling that takes me back to some happy memories of yesteryear. I think that's the power of simple but food that's prepared exceedingly well. My Gadbad is here. That's again another happy memory from yesteryear. So when you're tasting food, especially dishes that you used to relish way back in the past, and when you're reunited with these dishes, it's not just about the food, but it's also a trigger to those happy memories of the past. And I think the vegetable cutlet and the Diana Gadbad is precisely that for many of the customers who've been coming here through the years. What's also interesting about this cutlet is that there are flecks of onions that have gone in to coat the cutlet, and as that cutlet is deep fried, that onion imbues to that cutlet a toasty caramelized sort of note. And it's the flavor of that curry leaf that you definitely taste, along with a bit of heat that comes from some chilies. Press that cutlet with the sauce and some of that chutney. You got the creamy softness of the cutlet, the flavoring of the curry leaf, the toasty caramelized notes of the onions, and then you have that sweet hit of the tomato ketchup with a bit of chili that's gone in, and then that Kai, that coconut intermingled with the freshness of coriander. I want to finish my cutlet in a hurry now because I want to get to that Gadbad very soon. It's interesting to learn that this cutlet is of course the first dish on the menu here at Hotel Diana, and I think they have over 100 dishes on the menu now, all vegetarian, But when this cutlet was first launched in Udupi in the 60s, people were hesitant from tasting it because this was a dish that was entirely foreign to them. And because the establishment was called Hotel Diana, a Western, a foreign sounding name, they suspected it may be non-vegetarian. And it took 5 years of education, of making the public aware on the part of the owners, distributing free cutlets to people in Udupi before this cutlet finally got accepted. And like they say, the rest is history. Today this vegetable cutlet, this unique vegetable cutlet, is one of the most popular items on the Diana Hotel menu. Cutlet done. Time to turn our attention to the Gadbad. So Diana ice creams are also very popular on the wedding scene here in South Canara. So you go to a wedding and chances are the cup ice cream or the ice creams that you taste are most probably from Hotel Diana. That's how popular the ice creams here are. I think we'll try to go all the way in, right from the strawberry scoop to the dry fruits that you have here, to that Horlicks cake, which I suppose is what makes this very interesting. And then of course you have the fruits, the fruit mix in a sugar syrup. And then at the bottom you have that vanilla ice cream. Let's try to go in as deep as possible. I love the gummy texture of the dry fruits, the raisins. So because the raisins are kept in the refrigerator along with the nuts, along with the figs, the dates, etc., it also solidifies a bit. So as you bite into it, you're biting into its gummy texture. And also that tutti frutti and the nutty bite of the cashew nut or the godambi. I think I'm beginning to get that Horlicks cake on my spoon. I think the Horlicks cake lends it the flavor of condensed milk, but with a little something extra. You know what's interesting about tasting the Gadbad is that with every bite you will taste something different. So in some bites you will taste more of the strawberry ice cream. In some bites you will taste more of the Horlicks cake and the milkiness that comes with it. In some bites it's about the crunch of the nuts. In yet others it's about the fruit that you're biting into. So it's a sort of dessert that keeps you happily occupied. No two bites are the same, and I think that's what endears a Gadbad to people. They're very generous with the dry fruits that goes into this Gadbad. Every bite I'm tasting a bit of that cashew nut. Every bite. I'm trying to also ferret out some of the fruits that are hiding at the bottom just above the vanilla ice cream. Now I'm tasting more of the Horlicks cake. That creamy goodness of that homemade dessert with the vanilla ice cream. So it's like a booster shot of milky goodness at this stage. Right at the top I was tasting more of the strawberry ice cream and the nuts. But now I'm tasting that Horlicks cake that's come together with that vanilla ice cream and some of the fresh fruits. Some banana there, some apple. There's some kids who walked in with some squeaky shoes. So you may hear some of that in the video. But that's the thing about Hotel Diana. Hotel Diana appeals to a large demographic. It appeals to people across all ages. No matter what you fancy, whether it's a cutlet, or a chole bhature, or a pav bhaji, or a chaat, maybe a dosa or something else, you're bound to find something to your liking. And I think that's the universal appeal of this establishment that has stood the test of time since the early 60s. And I just bit into the acidic sweetness of some pineapple. You know, a nut you will taste right from the top to the very end. Because initially the nuts are placed on top of the ice cream and the Horlicks cake. But as you finish your dessert, the nuts also sink to the bottom, thereby ensuring that you taste a bit of that cashew in every bite of your Gadbad. I think the Gadbad is as much about the assembly or the layering of the components as it is about the ingredients that make for the components. fact that you have a light vanilla ice cream at the bottom, topped on it, you have the acidity, the sweetness of some sugared fruits, and then you have that dairy richness of that Horlicks cake, and then followed by the nuts, a variety of nuts, crunchy as well as soft and chewy, like the raisins, the figs, the dates, and also the tutti frutti. And then you have the strawberry. So what's interesting is there's a reason why each of these components have been placed in that particular order. The first thing that you want to taste when you're tasting this dessert is some fruitiness which comes from the strawberry ice cream. You also want a bit of crunch every now and then. That's where the nuts and the dry fruits come in, because as you're working your way through the Gadbad, you're basically tasting a bit of the dry fruit in every bite, and once in a while you want that full-on rich creamy bite of an ice cream, and I think that's where that Horlicks cake comes in. And then of course you have the simplicity of vanilla topped with some fruits to round things off. Well, I came here this evening to Hotel Diana to revisit a couple of delicious memories that I had last tasted nearly 2 decades ago. While it's heartening to know that nothing has changed with respect to that cutlet or that Gadbad, I think I also leave richer knowing the circumstances that both these dishes came into being. We may all take the Gadbad, we may all take the cutlet for granted now, but when these dishes were launched 50 years ago, these were not the sort of dishes that were commonplace yet. These were not the sort of dishes that people in Udupi had heard of yet. And it took quite a few years for the family here to educate people and to tell them what the cutlet was all about, and so also the Gadbad. Many a times we look at iconic dishes that we enjoy of course, but dishes that we also take so much for granted. I think it's also nice to go back in time every once in a while and examine how those dishes came into being. And I think that will only go to heighten our appreciation of these delicious, timeless culinary classics. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Gourmet on the Road. Until the next time, stay safe, stay very, very safe, and happy eating. If you'd like to support the work that we do at Food Lovers TV, do consider joining our membership community on YouTube by hitting the join button below or on the home page. You could pledge a nominal sum and receive special privileges like behind the scenes footage, shoot updates, access to live Q&As, and a lot more. You could support us on our Patreon page as well. For more info, check out the links in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment below. Happy eating!